The Curlewis Golf Club has secured its water future.
This is the Alcoa Point Henry complex, just out of Geelong.
I'm here at Fine Art College where the girls are getting right into the closing the gap.
Welcome back to News Geelong, back on the air. This is Channel 31 and it is a piece of gold. Stay tuned and keep watching. The best news of Geelong is right here. Good evening. Great to be back with you on your community TV Channel 31 Digital 44 for News Geelong. Tonight we'll take you on a Geelong journey, including an update on the Bunyip Boulevard and the Geelong Smarter Living Expo being held at the Geelong Performing Arts Centre. Firstly, we want your voice to be heard by the Minister of Communications, Mr Malcolm Turnbull, showing your commitment to our community television. Local MP Andrew Katos has voiced his support as Ian Nichols reports.
Well, Rollo, one high-profile person who believes in the future of Channel 31 and what the News Geelong can do to bring people into the picture is the member for South Barwon, Andrew Katos. We know in the recess we've had from News Geelong that so much has been going on, and there's going to be a lot happening, particularly in the months ahead now, not just because of the state election, but because the summer months generate so much news, and fortunately good news around the Geelong and Surf Coast area.
Yeah, like this, as I said before, and there's a lot of events that wouldn't be covered if it weren't for Channel 31, particularly the Geelong portion that is aired. So it's important to get to these local events. For example, a Nightjar Market down in Torquay, you've got the Mussel Festival in Port Arlington, things like that, which are really good local community events and festivals too, and also the multicultural aspect. Local football is covered. You know, where would the GFL get coverage otherwise? For example, the Bellarine Football League, the GDFL. You've got the local coverage there of those of local sport, and that's what people want to see. They want to see those good news stories in their local community.
Well, we know that television is a very powerful medium, and as a result of that, I think we should be encouraged to be showing people what's happening in areas where we're not adequately covered by the main commercial operators.
Yeah, and that's right. And Channel 31, and I can speak particularly the Geelong portion of it. Obviously, there's the aspects from Melbourne, but it does cover that gap, whereas Geelong is just a lot of events that are on in Geelong, or festivals, as I've said, just wouldn't get into your mainstream television. But Channel 31 is great where it picks up those events.
I know it's an old chestnut and it's been going on for decades now, Andrew, but it's almost certain that we will never see our own television station in Geelong, so it's up to people like community television, Channel 31, to do something about it, and that they have done.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, Geelong's proximity to Melbourne being so close, it's probably prohibits it from having its own television station. But then they've also got the problem of, well, if you want to get on television, also sometimes it's the cost involved of actually trying to reach a marketplace, for example, to advertise on the big stations in Melbourne was prohibitively expensive for a lot of organisations, whereas for a smaller investment, for example on Channel 31, they could sponsor an event or they could advertise at a much more cost-effective rate than they would on the big stations.
And of course, importantly, our population is growing at a rapid rate. We've got some fast developing areas, and it's not just around Armstrong or Warralilly, but the Surf Coast itself. It's all growing at a rapid pace.
Yeah, no, Geelong is growing fast. Obviously, as you said, Armstrong Creek, you've got Lara, Clifton Springs, Ocean Grove, and then obviously the Surf Coast as well. So there is significant growth here. You never know, eventually we might get big enough for our own station, Ian, but I think that's a few years away at the moment. But what you also do is Channel 31 also showcases the events and the beauty of our region to people to say, well, let's come down and live on the Bellarine or the Surf Coast. Let's move down to Geelong. It looks like it is a great place to live, and Channel 31 obviously showcases that.
Well, that's right. We do put a high sort of priority on the lifestyle that people enjoy here. And over the next few months, we're going to see lots of people coming from all over the state to enjoy what we have to offer. And you're going to be very busy as well, covering a lot of that ground personally.
Yes, well, obviously the state election is upon us. So we're inside 3 months now. So it's a busy time for all parliamentarians and candidates. So I'll certainly be out there pressing the flesh, knocking on doors, and trying to win every vote possible in the electorate.
Well, once again, Andrew, thanks for your time. We've had a great deal of your attention in the past, and we're very grateful for that.
No worries, and pleasure anytime.
And from the High Street Belmont office of Andrew Kados, the member for South Barwon, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Nico. And you too can join the campaign by going to the website i.committocommunitytv, all one word in lowercase, .org.au. We would all appreciate your community support. Moving along on News Geelong, on Friday, December the 13th, 2013, work commenced on the $90.4 million two-lane, two-way arterial road connecting Anglesea Road and the Surf Coast Highway, which means Barnyip Boulevard. Ian Nichols has an update on the progress of the Kingbilly Highway.
Well, over the past few months, particularly through winter, we've had a lot of roadworks going on south of Geelong. Very important roadworks on the Ring Road at Torquay and also on the Surf Coast Highway. And to bring us an update, Andrew Kados, the member for South Barwon. And finally, Andrew, we also had the pleasure of being at the turning of the first sod of Barnyip Boulevard, or Kingbilly Highway, as it probably will be known to the locals. That also is showing rapid development there.
Well, Barnyip Boulevard, pretty much the earthworks are all complete. And basically at the moment Vic Roads is just waiting for the weather to warm a bit. Obviously when you're looking to put seals down, road seals down, you can't do it in cold temperatures. So once the weather warms now with the spring and the summer approaching, they'll be going very full speed there to get the pavement down. Obviously landscaping, there'll be noise barriers going in. So there's an extra $4 million being spent on that road in noise attenuation compared with what the previous government was going to spend. So it'll be a good outcome there for the local community, and also a good entry point for people wanting to come into Armstrong Creek or the Surf Coast Highway.
Yes, we might point out to people this is a link road between the Surf Coast Highway and the Ring Road, so it's going to see quite a relief in the traffic numbers going all the way down the Surf Coast.
It certainly will, Ian, but its stated purpose under the present Napthine government, it's an arterial road. So this is a road that will connect Geelong's southern suburbs in Armstrong Creek, eventually across the Barwon River into Geelong's eastern suburbs, and if someone so wishes they can go to the Bellarine Peninsula afterwards. But one thing I can assure all of the residents living there in Grovedale, that under the present government that will remain an arterial road. There's talk that the opposition wants to turn that into a freeway. That's something that the present government has no intention of doing. It'll be an arterial road connecting Geelong south to the east, and also we'll have several sets of traffic lights connecting into the new Armstrong Creek developments.
Looking at those roadworks on the Surf Coast Highway, Barnyip Boulevard, and of course the Ring Road, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. This is News Geelong as we go to a break and we return with more news after this.